I hope you're in your seats for this, the best 49ers practice report in quite some time. Both Brock Purdy and Ricky Pearsall, full participants. That has not happened since week one, before the 49ers upset the Seahawks, because it was the first half of that game up in the Pacific Northwest, during which Brock Purdy suffered the initial turf toe injury. But he's out there at full speed. So is Ricky Pearsall. You look to see what Pearsall brings this 49ers offense. He can blow the top off of opposing defenses. The average depth of target for Ricky Pearsall significantly higher than any other 49ers target. He wasn't reintegrated yet into what the 49ers were doing last week. He was back out on the field, but it was a lot like George Kittle's return against Atlanta, where Ricky Pearsall was only targeted one time. I can guarantee you that that's about to change, and it's going to change soon, potentially as soon as Monday Night Football here at Levi's Stadium when the 49ers play the Carolina Panthers. And that's an ability to take the offense to yet another level. I mean, they already scored 41 against the Cardinals, but the 49ers have a chance for truly elite offensive play over the long run if they've got a receiver producing the way that Ricky Pearsall can, or a receiver stretching the field the way that Ricky Pearsall can. Full injury report for the 49ers today, a rather short one. Tatum Bethune, no practice, we know, with the high ankle sprain. Eddie Pinheiro, hamstring injury, not at practice for the 49ers. Robert Beal Jr. is in concussion protocol. Luke Gifford, hip and neck issues, a limited participant for San Francisco. Remember that he went out for a few plays in the win over Arizona. 49ers have a new kicker to replace Pinheiro for at least a week. It is Matt Gay, and it's been a hell of a week for Matt.
I don't really know where I am. Coming back from Madrid Monday morning, and then getting released and then flying to Utah, and then flying Utah to here. It's been a lot of travel, but blessed, grateful to have this opportunity.
So Madrid to Washington, D.C., to Utah, here to Levi's Stadium. Matt Gay has had a whirlwind of a week, replaced by Jake Moody, actually, with Washington. But the 49ers feel they've got a veteran kicker who has still been good, actually, over the course of the past 3 seasons. During his overall decline, he's still been good from 50 yards in. He's made 89.4% of his kicks from 50 yards in. So the big challenge for Matt Gay has come on longer kicks. And the 49ers, you're not going to find a star off the street right now. It's November. I think that what you do is you try to find somebody who's good at the bread and butter kicks, who can at least keep you afloat. The floor is important there, and move on. And that's what the 49ers have done by signing Matt Gay, who has hit on 89.4% of those kicks under 50 yards. All right, moving on to the 49ers defensive line. This is the corner of practice that I was at today, and I've been wanting to talk about CJ West for a while. Alfred Collins, I know that we've been discussing a lot, but look, Kalia Davis, 93, he got the club off of his hand, and he has raised his play to a new level. And Kalia, this is his third year with the 49ers. He obviously came in off of an ACL tear, so there was going to be some built-in patience needed for the 49ers. The 4 pressures that we saw for him against the Arizona Cardinals, I think is a definite indicator in a very, very promising direction for the 49ers. 58 right now. Evan Anderson, we've yet to see him this year. He played some valuable snaps for the 49ers in 2024. They just haven't needed his services yet at that defensive tackle position, in large part because this guy, Alfred Collins, I would say the 49ers' most impressive rookie so far. Michael Williams was really, really good, but unfortunately he's gone down with the ACL tear. Alfred Collins, you can just see the size of that frame. He's been so big for San Francisco when it comes to run stopping, next to this guy, who I wanted to talk about, CJ West, 99. He's going to mess up this first drill. They're working on splitting blocks, body balance, using the arms, and CJ West fell down there or lost a little bit of his 320-pound balance. So Chris Kasarik said, you know what, get back in line. We're going to try this one again. But CJ has also surged. I mean, his snaps have gone over 20 now, even over 30 snaps a game. And there was a time a little bit earlier this year where CJ West was the odd man out of the rotation. But he was such a big help for the Indiana run defense last year after he transferred from Kent State. Helped turn Indiana into a college football playoff team. You knew that CJ West was going to figure it out at the NFL level. There's the Hulk, Sebastian Valdez, and I think CJ, Kalia Davis, those guys have indeed rounded into form. They're going to continue rounding into form. And when people talk about the key for the 49ers defense, it's run defense. I mean, they don't have the firepower to skunk you anymore. That much is very clear. There's talk about Robert Saleh potentially getting a head coaching job this next cycle. We'll see if that works out. A team like Cincinnati, I think Mike said it the best. We were texting today. He said Robert needs to go somewhere where there's already an established quarterback so that the direction of the offense is already set in a positive direction. So Joe Burrow in Cincinnati, that's set in a positive direction. Then he could really focus on taking his defensive expertise to that team. The 49ers, I could tell you one thing, that they hope that Robert stays here for at least one more year. And I think just as an observer, it would be really cool to see Robert Saleh have a chance to work with the defense at full strength, with Nick Bosa, with Fred Warner, with Mykal Williams, because right now the 49ers don't have those guys, so they're going to give up a lot of yards per game, but as long as it's controlled yardage that they give up, they still have a chance. That's what happened against Arizona. They gave up an NFL record 47 completions, but there was negative passing efficiency for Jacoby Brissett, in large part because the 49ers allowed only 2.6 yards per carry on the ground. They were able to cage rush. Kyle Shanahan, as I told you guys several times earlier this week, there's been a lot of discontent about the pass rush. Kyle Shanahan was happy with the pass rush against Arizona. They executed that disciplined formula well, kept Jacoby Brissett in the pocket, pressured him the most intensely on some of his best throws. You just have to tip your cap in that regard, but kept Brissett to negative passing efficiency. And that only happens if you can control yardage coming out of the offense on the ground game, and that's where I loop back to Alfred Collins and CJ West and Kalia Davis. Kalia Davis had a really, really nice run stop. You know, we could even go to some of the players in the front seven who have been here for a couple of years. Thought D. Winters played one of his best games in a while. That's the formula for the 49ers, is how these young guys play some of these very bare bones fundamentals to allow the 49ers to have a chance at generating some of those takeaways, which are going to help this defense absorb a lot of the yardage that it will inevitably give up. And then, of course, we could circle back to how we started this show with the 49ers offense. You've got Brock Purdy, Ricky Pearsall. It's fully stocked now, with the exception, obviously, of Brandon Ayuk. But that's the side of the football that has to shield the 49ers moving forward. Matt Gay, hopefully he can keep the special teams unit for San Francisco afloat. But the formula there is really, really clear. And I think today at practice is such a big update to see Purdy and Pearsall as full participants, because now the 49ers can apply some consistency to the formula, which worked against Arizona, but they have yet to win consecutive games since week 3, since they beat Arizona the first time. And that's what it's going to be about here against Carolina on Monday Night Football. You know, if the 49ers win this game, they have an 89% probability to reach the playoffs. If they lose it, it's a 62% probability. That is the biggest swing of any NFL team this week. 62 to 89. Very simple math at 27 points. It's a 27% swing between win and loss. That's what makes this game against the Carolina Panthers so big. One more thought, and this is going to lead into all our interviews from the locker room. Curtis Robinson's going to have to take over that Mike linebacker position. The third different 49ers starting middle linebacker with a radio in his helmet this year. Obviously Warner first, Bethune hurt now. Curtis Robinson ready for the challenge against Bryce Young and the Carolina Panthers. Have a listen to the 49ers locker room.
A lot of things I can improve on from the last game from an execution standpoint, for sure. So that's really where my head is at. Mostly is just kind of improving on the little things that, you know, I didn't do so well in the last game, and making sure that I'm putting myself and my defense in a better position to succeed this week.
Kind of a communication with Fred Warner had with you this week?
It's nice. We have him here in the locker room, so I get to talk to him whenever I really need. He's either in the training room or the cafeteria, so it's really easy. You know, he's always super encouraging, and for me, like, I know if anything ever comes up, I can go to him.
You guys watch film together at all? Or no?
He's pretty busy with his rehab, so I kind of let him handle that. I know how hard that can be, so I really don't bother him with that stuff. And luckily, I have, you know, we go Malik, Tatum, Tig. We like to watch film together. So.
And Salah and Johnny are the other main driving forces.
Yeah, you know, they're super supportive and really helpful. Salah's a genius. So, I try to just soak up as much as I can, even when I wasn't starting. And then with Johnny and KJ, it's really nice to have them as well.
You're playing a quarterback that went to your high school.
I did, yep.
But you were 4 years ahead of him, I believe. But did you pay attention, like when you were at Stanford, what he was doing in modern day?
I did. It was really cool for me to see. It felt like we were right there so much when I was there, and we came up short a lot of years. And so to watch him and the St. Brown brothers kind of take that team to the next level was awesome for me. So I'm a huge fan of Bryce.
You're another example of week to week, you just never know. It was Tatum who got the green dot a couple of weeks ago, and now it's you. How does that change your approach and having a whole week to prepare for that?
It doesn't really change my approach. I spoke on it a little bit earlier. I learned at a young age that you should probably just prepare like you're going to start regardless of where you're at in the depth chart. And that's really how I've approached this entire season. Even when Fred was up, it's kind of just a mindset thing for me of knowing that if my number does get called, I want to be able to have the confidence and the preparation to not only put myself in position, but put the rest of the team in position to win. So I wouldn't say that the approach is different. It's just, knowing that I'm going to be starting the game and be on the field at the first snap. That's really the biggest difference.
What an exciting opportunity for you.
Oh, for sure. It's really exciting. And like I said, I'm really trying to make it more about the team. I'm really concerned about just making sure, doing what I can to make sure that we play well as a defense and beat the Panthers, but I'm not taking it for granted at all.
You've been preparing for that moment for so long. How ready did you feel when you were thrust in?
I felt pretty ready. Obviously, getting actual game reps and experience is really the only way to fully feel it. But for me, again, being ready, anyone's ready. It was just nice for me to feel like I was prepared and I had put in the work and the preparation to be prepared for that moment. And like I said, I just want to keep building off that.
Was there a moment in the game where you were like, okay, here we go, I'm ready?
When I saw Tatum go down, it didn't look great, so I knew that it was probably going to be for the rest of the game. But it was exciting for me. I hate seeing guys go down. I've felt that feeling, and I've felt that feeling, and it's never fun to be in that position or to have someone, especially in your own position, go down. But for me, my mindset was just we're leading this game. I just want to make sure that we continue to win, do what we can as a defense to win.
This is your 8th season. And, they say experience is the best teacher, kind of taking which is a follow-up to what we just asked you. Thrust into a situation mid-season to kind of take on the reins of being the kicker for this team that's had some success. How do you settle into that, and how do you feel going into this matchup on Monday?
Like you said, year 7 or 8 for me, kicking's kicking, and so the uprights are the same wherever you go, and so I've kicked a lot of balls and feel comfortable with myself and going out there to perform, and it helps it when you got a veteran group like John and Thomas that are so established that the operation, you got nothing to worry about there. And so I've kicked in the stadium before, and so I feel good coming in. I've kicked a lot of balls and I feel like I'm hitting the ball well right now.
Having such a brotherhood, did you know Eddie even before this?
Yeah, so kickers are the fraternity, so you keep in touch with guys and you follow his career and stuff. So even just seeing him and talking to him, it's been great to catch up with him, and he's had a great year here, and so watching what he's done here has been awesome. So really happy for him.
Having kicked in this, you guys, were you kind of standing by waiting for a phone call? Were you expecting this might happen at some point this season?
After they released me on Monday, I didn't think that I would be getting a call anytime soon. Guys have been having good years, and so I was prepared for my bye week, or Washington's bye week, which I was headed home for. Got a call at the airport, so it was abrupt. I didn't really see it coming. But again, it's just one of those things that I'm just grateful for, blessed to have an opportunity to just continue to kick wherever that may be.
You've had a lot of success in this league with a few different teams. Why do you feel it didn't work out in Washington?
That's a good question. The operation was awesome. Tress and Tyler Otto over there are great. I love being there. Love my time there. I don't know. God has plans, and sometimes it doesn't work out. Doors open for other places, and so whatever that opportunity may be. He blessed me with an opportunity to come here and get to kick for however many games that may be until Eddie's back, and so he's got a plan for me, and I trust that plan, and just happy to be able to keep kicking. Yeah.
Other kickers say Levi's is one of the trickier ones, just in terms of figuring out wind and things like that. What have been your impressions of when you have kicked here in the past? Yeah,
there's definitely been a swirling wind that happens at Levi's. I'm fortunate enough to be able to have played here a couple times, and so I've kind of been able to figure it out. I think the best teacher is other people, and so you watch Robbie Gould, who kicked here for a long time, and he figured the stadium out. So you watch some of that stuff and kind of see what he's done and take notes on that. But it's definitely got a tricky wind in there, but kick is kicking. You get there game day and figure it out and see which way the ball's flying, and just trust that plan going in.
Kicking is kind of a strange existence, but Is it strange to think that you guys kicked these guys out of the Super Bowl?
I was going to ask that. Yeah. You got any flashbacks about that?
Keep it down. Yeah, it's crazy how like you're in LA and we're rivals for so long, and you're used to playing against them, and now you're on their team. So it's definitely different to see looking back a couple years ago playing that game and kicking them out. But now I'm Team 49ers. So they signed me. I'm wearing the red jersey this time. So I just want to do what I can to help this team win.
Congratulations. Thank you.
My ability to adapt over the years of what is asked from this position, and I've always said like it's so hard to even say like to use the term fullback, because like a lot of times like what I do, I don't even look at that as like a fullback role. Like so many times I'm on the line of scrimmage. Like I feel like fullback things are truly when you're like in the I formation or offset I. All that other stuff, I really see as tight end, H-back type of stuff, and something that I've always felt comfortable doing. So I just think being able to adapt and find any way possible to stay on the field.
What do you get as a memento from the Pro Bowl?
Say it again?
What do you get as a memento from the Pro Bowl?
What do you mean?
Jersey,
Oh, yeah.
plaque, what do you get? Like, do you have them all stacked up somewhere? All these?
Yes, I have my whole garage is just full of that type of stuff. But yeah, I got jerseys from every Pro Bowl. I always keep my name tag from the locker or wherever we're at. You usually get a hat, you get like a watch, a bunch of random stuff.
And it's going to be in San Francisco. The Pro Bowl games are in Moscone this year.
Yeah, that'll be here this year.
What do you think about like that whole format as opposed to the games?
I'm torn. I was a part of that kind of committee of kind of suggestions on which direction we would go. I don't know. I think there's positives and negatives to it. I do think keeping it in the same city as the Super Bowl, we'll get more eyes on it. We'll get more participation out of players. I know they want the best quarterbacks to play in the Pro Bowl. And some of the recent years, a lot of times you've seen those guys bow out of it. So it would make a lot of sense for it to be in the same city, because we'll have NFL honors. Everybody is usually involved with the marketing side of Super Bowl week. So a lot of big names will be there. So it'll be interesting to try it out for a year. I think it'll be good. We'll see how it goes.